Earlier, I spoke to economist Dr. Nataliya Ilyushina from Melbourne's RMIT University for more on the fallout on President Trump's tariffs. We've seen China retaliate quite quickly. We've seen global stock markets tumble. What have you made of the reaction we've seen in those days since Trump made this announcement?
Oh, it's been a fascinating week economically, but the China's retaliation is only expected because it's a large country and quite aggressive with their international policy. So the fact that they reacted quickly is reasonable and expected. Other countries might follow, might not, but that could indicate the start of overall trade war and the end of free trade globally for us.
We knew this announcement was coming. He promised it. And if President Trump's done anything in his first sort of 100 days or so, it's deliver what he said he was going to promise. But I think some people have been surprised about the process he's used to deliver these tariffs, particularly the formula. What have you made of it from an economics perspective?
Yeah, I did notice a lot of people have been puzzled as to where those figures came from. There is indeed a formula posted on the White House website for everyone to see. What's the main component of that formula? It looks at the difference between imports and exports into the USA from a particular country. So the more you import into the USA compared to export, the higher the tariff is. So those calculations are not at all ungrounded. They have some merit, and the component that Donald Trump refers to, that we reciprocated, he means he wanted for the trade to be equal to zero, meaning the country imports exactly the same as exports, not necessarily remove the whole trade. So that's what technically formula is implying.
He's trying to make it a level playing field.
Yes. So technically he does not want trade to go completely to zero. He just wants to sell exactly the same amount as they're buying.
I mean, that appeals to voters because it sounds like it's common sense, right? But why does it not more widely used in the global economic scheme of things?
Because, first of all, United States and China and any other big country have a lot more capacity to impose trade restrictions, whether tariffs or quotas, because they have a lot more capacity to diversify and produce domestically compared to smaller countries. So there is a sort of unbalance between what big countries can do in terms of the international trade compared to smaller ones. And overall, the belief from the economists is that trade restrictions, they create the inefficiency in the economy because technically we're supposed to sell and focus and specialize on producing one good, and that in theory creates the most efficient outcome globally, which is not always true.
What about Australia? Where do they stand now?
So what happens to Australia? And according to that particular formula, if it was applied to Australia directly, we would have actually achieved a subsidy instead of a tariff.
But we haven't.
Yes, so that's a little bit puzzling. But in terms of Australia, we got away with the best case scenario right now, which is 10%. And that's as good as it gets right now. Having said that, we don't know what consequences the trade war between China and the United States will have on us. But the direct tariff as it is on Australia right now should not worry us in terms of future inflation or recession. We have a lot more problems domestically that can throw us into recession now than worrying about 10% tariff on from a country that's not even in the top 5 trading partners for us.
But I guess the concern about the tariffs is if there's a global trade war, obviously Australia is part of the global economy, right? So is that more of a concern? But that's something for down the line, not right now.
That's correct. And I think it's been coming through in Jim Chalmers' pre- and post-budget speeches that global uncertainty, which obviously refers to the global trade wars triggered by Trump tariffs. I do think there will be increasing global, uncertainty, but the recession was coming anyway. So Trump or no Trump, the world and Australia would have been in a recession now.
And how worrying is that from an economic perspective? Because it's easy to feel doom and gloom about it, but we're not thinking back to sort of 1920s global recession again, or?
No, I don't think so. In those kind of extreme case scenarios are not quite possible these days, especially in Australia. The way legal system and economic system is set up is actually a lot more smooth and avoids those extreme fluctuations that we can see in the American economy. So let's say jobs turn around that can exist in the United States economy, just not legally possible in Australia. So yes, we can see some slowdown, again, more coming from our own inefficiencies and budget overspends. But this might be small impact for overall global, again, uncertainty flowing into slowing down of business spending and just overall slowing down in the economy.
And finally, Nataliya, what is so fascinating about Donald Trump as a politician is that he doesn't really care about criticism. Normally, if there's a big uproar over some sort of policy, politicians tend to react and they see the markets reacting, so they sort of follow suit. But he's actually said, Donald Trump said, it's a great time to get rich. Is he right?
There is a merit to that in the context of American economy. If he strikes the right balance with those tariffs together with immigration restrictions, hit the job market and increase wages before the increase in prices from tariffs, he'll be a total winner of the day. Yes.
Dr. Nataliya Ilyushina, thank you so much for coming on Sky News. Appreciate it.
Thanks.